The military survival rule of 3 that keeps soldiers alive when everything fails. The moment everything goes quiet is when survival really begins. Long before satellites, rescue beacons or plastic-packed gear walls, soldiers learned one brutal truth the hard way. When systems fail, simplicity saves lives. Across forgotten battlefields, frozen ridgelines, and humid jungles, one principle endured. It was whispered, drilled, and tested under fire. The rule of 3. Not theory, not folklore. A hard-earned survival code that still works today. This episode dives into that code and shows how the military survival kit built around the rule of 3 became one of the most reliable life-saving systems ever carried into the unknown. Why the rule of 3 never failed. Military survival doctrine was never designed for comfort. It was designed for collapse. The rule of 3 grew out of centuries of campaign failures and field improvisation. Soldiers learned that the human body breaks down in predictable stages. Air is lost in minutes. Exposure kills in hours. Dehydration cripples in days. Hunger comes later, but it comes all the same. Instead of, just packing endlessly, the military actually structured survival around priorities. Each priority was supported by 3 independent solutions. Not excess, insurance. When one method failed, another stepped in, and when conditions changed, the system adapted. That mindset is really what separates surviving from simply enduring. Fire was always the first line of defence. Fire was never just warmth. It was morale. It was command over the night. In old campaign journals, fire meant the difference between holding ground and abandoning it. Soldiers relied on layered ignition methods because, honestly, failure was common. Wet hands, broken tools, frozen fuel. A proper military kit always carried 3 ways to bring flame to life. Sparks that worked even when soaked. Flame that could be coaxed from a single strike. And a backup that demanded almost nothing. Fire meant heat, cooked food, clean water, and a signal to friendlies. Lose fire, and everything else just becomes harder. Water was treated like ammunition. Dehydration ended more marches than enemy bullets, honestly. Armies learned quickly that water could not be trusted simply because it was clear. Parasites, rot and decay travelled silently. Military survival doctrine answered this with redundancy. Heat could make water safe. Filtration could remove the unseen. Chemicals could kill what neither fire nor filters could reach in time. Each method had limits, but together they kept soldiers alive. A survival kit without multiple ways to treat water was considered unfinished. Food was about time, not comfort. Rations were never meant to feel generous, They were meant to buy time. The military never relied on a single food strategy. Soldiers carried dense calories for immediate energy, and they trained to harvest food actively when opportunity allowed. They also learned passive methods that worked while they slept or moved. This layered approach kept strength from collapsing. Food was fuel, not a reward. A kit that supported both short-term calories and long-term acquisition meant survival could stretch beyond expectation. Shelter was built from the ground up. Cold and heat kill quietly. Military shelters were not tents in the modern sense. They were systems. You insulated from the ground, you trapped warmth around the body, and you blocked wind and rain from above. This three-layer thinking showed up across forgotten fronts. From alpine units to desert patrols, soldiers adapted materials to the environment, but the structure remained. Sleep on insulation, sleep inside heat retention, sleep under protection. That order mattered. Ignore one layer and, well, exposure crept in. Navigation meant control over fate. Getting lost was not an inconvenience, it was a death sentence. Armies that failed to navigate vanished into terrain and, honestly, into history. The military answer was, again, redundancy. Direction came from a compass. Precision came from map tools. Context came from the map itself. Even when technology failed, the land still spoke to those trained to read it. Navigation tools were not optional extras. They were how soldiers decided whether they lived or disappeared. Military medicine stripped survival down to its most urgent truth. Bleeding kills first. Infection comes later. Comfort is last. Survival kits focused on stopping blood loss immediately, treating the wound effectively, and securing it for movement. This sequence saved lives long before evacuation was possible. It remains one of the most transferable lessons from battlefield to wilderness. And, you know, fancy supplies mean nothing if the basics are missing. Signalling was the voice of the isolated. Across forgotten war fronts, rescue really depended on visibility. Soldiers signalled without revealing too much, always walking that fine line. They balanced stealth and survival constantly. Effective kits allowed signalling in light and darkness, through sound and reflection, whether actively or passively. This layered approach meant help could find you even when your strength was gone. Signalling was not desperation. It was, in fact, strategy. Tools were the extension of the will. The military never trusted a single blade, you know. Small tools handled detail. Multi-tools solved problems. Heavy knives shaped the environment. Together they allowed soldiers to adapt, to build, to repair, to process food, to defend. Tools were not accessories. They were force multipliers. A kit without proper tools really limited imagination. A kit with them expanded options. Why this still matters today? Well, the rule of three survives because it respects reality. It assumes failure. It prepares for friction. It acknowledges that survival is not about gear lists, but about systems. Modern kits often chase novelty, but the military chased reliability. That is exactly why this doctrine still outperforms trend-driven packing. When conditions turn hostile, history honestly becomes the best teacher. If this episode uncovered something new for you, go ahead and share it with someone who values forgotten knowledge. Subscribe to the Forgotten War Fronts for more lost field wisdom pulled from the edges of history. Some lessons were paid for dearly. They deserve to be remembered.